gentlemen, welcome to Wrestling Art with Chris Things.
Ray! Do the hammerlock! I do the hammerlock! Ray! Do the hammerlock, you turkey necks! Yeah, do the hammerlock! I do the hammerlock!
Hello friends, welcome to the latest edition of Wrestling Art with Chris Things. I am Chris of Chris Things Art, and we're back after a little bit of a delay from doing this podcast, but we're back for a special one. So I got through the big art show that I was losing my mind over, and the reason why I hadn't done this podcast in a little while. And we're back for a special edition, bit of a debrief of said art show and a debrief of a special one night only wrestling club. And I'm delighted to be being joined by one of our great friends of the show and a loyal wrestling club member, number 8, is it, Joe?
That's right. Number 8. Number 8.
So good. Oh, how you doing, man?
Very good. As I take a swig of beer there, just to get in character for Barney. I'm really well, mate. I'm down in Melbourne at the moment, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
But was thrilled to have Wrestling Club return for a special edition of Wrestling Club and to see your art that you've been working on. Very much up my alley, combining cryptids with lucha with references to the old West spaghetti westerns. Like it's all in my wheelhouse. So it was a fantastic night and had a great time.
Dude, as did I. Yeah, it's funny. Like looking back, it was sort of like a big old whirlwind in the lead up to it. You've got so much to do, and all the things to make, and then all the logistics of getting it down from the Sunshine Coast hinterland to actually getting to the hang it up in the venue. My phone died during all of this, so when I was doing that, I had no phone, and yeah, that added a little bit of wrinkles to it. But by the time we got to the opening night and special one night only wrestling club, it was cool because it was like I just got to have the fun bit, and many beers were had. Much great wrestling was had, as we'll talk about on the show here today. But yeah, I just that was the fun part, really.
Yeah, a little reward after all of it. You said that on the night that hanging it earlier in the week and then coming to the opening gave you a bit of breathing space to sort of step back and appreciate it. And I can understand that. I mean, I didn't even think about that. You've got to do all the art, but then you've got to figure out how to physically transport it all down to Brisbane in frames.
And the most annoying part was like the scanning it in and like digitizing all of that content before it goes to the scratch, because fingers crossed a lot of the stuff there sells and then I never see it again. So before I actually hang it up, I've got to do the painstaking scanning in of some of these paintings that are quite large, and I have to scan them in like separate parts or like take a series of like photos and stuff. Ugh, it's the boring side of it. No one ever really thinks about.
Yeah, yeah. The admin side of being an artist.
Yeah. But we got there. We got there. That was the main thing. And yeah, dude, such a good night. I'm so glad that we got to share it together. It was cool. I was able to pop into the scratch last week before a thing that I was in Brisbane for, like just briefly, very briefly. I was literally there for like 15 minutes between things, and in that time, I managed to have 2 beers, which was which was good. But yeah, just again getting to sort of soak it up. I was very thankful of a few more of the paintings had sold when I was there that second time, which is always nice. But yeah, just doing a little bit of admin of tidying up the presentation and things and all of that side of it. But Yeah, man. I very very happy with the opening night. It was a very fun time.
It was great. It was a great time. I actually wore the shirt I bought for the
You
show
did
down on the plane
your
down to Melbourne.
limited. Oh, you the other one. Sorry, I was meaning the limited edition teal wrestling club shirt that you wore on the night.
Yeah, oh, well, I did wear that. Yeah, I did, which people comment on all the time about that. So I think the people have spoken, but no, I wore the one for the show down on the plane down to Melbourne
Oh, awesome.
the weekend after. So yeah,
Lovely. Yeah, it was I haven't even got to wear that shirt yet. Because I hung the one up in the venue, on the wall, and I was like, hang on, I don't want to hang up one of the ones that I'm actually selling. So I just hung up the one that I got for myself. So I haven't been able to wear it just yet. But uh yeah, no, I thought it came together in a fun way. It kind of feels like a lot of the other sort of spaghetti western Chris Things t-shirts, but updated a little bit with the cryptid Bigfoot hand kind of element.
no, but you're right. There's a through line there. If you line them all up, the three of them, this is part of the same, I don't know, vibe, piece, however you want to
Concept.
say it. Concept, yeah. Yeah. You can see it go through there, which is really cool. And I think my two favorites, I mean,
Oh, I was interested in this.
people haven't seen them, but my two personal favorites, I think one was the one of the reptilians playing poker.
Oh, nice, having some beers
Yeah, having
with
some beers and that. Sorry, no,
Blue
that's right, having
Demon.
beers. Yes, but it reminded me of it had the vibe of those, different animals playing
Oh yeah,
poker,
like the
sort of.
dogs playing poker
Yes,
painting. Yeah, awesome.
playing on that, and also, of course, we discussed this reptilians, one of my favorite personal conspiracy theories that's out there. Um,
Mine
typically, I
too.
don't believe
Mine
it.
too. I mean, there was the little bit when I was preparing for the show, in the more conceptual phase of it, where I'm like, all right, it's gonna be, a cryptid invasion of this lucha Wild West town kind of thing. And I was for a moment like, hang on, is a reptilian officially a cryptid? Or is it just sort of more on the other end of the general conspiracy theory sort of law? And I feel like from a little bit of research, the the jury's still out on that official definition, but I think it's close enough and it works.
I don't know that there's any real authority who's going to come down on you for separating. There's no university that's going to really slam you for lumping them in with the cryptids. So I think you can take that artistic license there.
I mean, I
Um,
do this with in mind that a lot of the people that get into my art, and especially those that are of the scratch faithful, they're the kind of people that are going to know their cryptids. So I
that's
wanted to make
mm,
sure when I was doing this that I was as as accurate as possible while still having fun with it.
that's fair. That's fair. So that was one, and then the other one was the one of the painting with the barn and the two luchadors riding their horses past, and just unfortunately at the inopportune moment looking towards the viewer and missing the Sasquatch wandering through the background.
As often
So
happens with Sasquatch, he's right there. Bigfoot always just makes an appearance right at just the moment where you don't happen to catch him. So,
exactly. So I really enjoyed that one as well.
oh, thanks, man. Yeah, that was a lot of fun to paint. That was one that I painted on some massive oil landscape painting that I'd had for quite some time. But when I was kind of looking at the things, it just felt like really right for the concept of the show to sort of in the hunt for Bigfoot, the search for Bigfoot, and this sort of moment of Santo and Blue Demon there on their horses. But yeah, I quite I'm fond of that one.
Mm. No, this was a great show. Great to be part of.
Thanks, man. Yeah, lovely turnout. Thank you so much for everyone that came along on the night and who's seen the show since. I received a lot of lovely messages from different people about the show so far, including some folks who weren't able to make it on the night, but then were able to catch it thereafter. But I'll let everyone else know in the Brisbane area it is going to be up for the next few more weeks until the big Weekend of Darkness art show takeover on the hallowed scratch wall, which I'm very excited about that as well. And I can announce on here for the first time I will be submitting a piece to that group art show as well, as the many others that I'm doing at the moment. The concept of that one is satanic muppetry. So
Oh.
no way I was going to miss out on that.
Mm-hmm. Well, we won't. I'll be very interested to see. I won't ask you to spoil exactly what you're doing for it, but that is a cool concept.
Oh, dude, I didn't even know what I'm doing for it yet. But I'll hopefully come up with something fun. Every
Okay.
time they do these Weekend of Darkness, dark beer festivals at the Scratch, it's like the concepts of them just keep getting better and better. And I'm not sure if I mentioned to some people on the night, or maybe thereafter, but years back when the Scratch approached me for the Weekend of Darkness in 2023, I want to say it was. They had the idea, they're like, hey, we want to do like sort of a skeleton spooky spaghetti western kind of like motif for this year's Weekend of Darkness. We'd love for you to do like a solo art show for it, and if you want to have fun with that concept, that'd be rad. And then I was like, yeah, heck yeah, I reckon I could like add some cowboy luchadors into the mix there. And then in a way that sort of has begat this whole next however many years, geez, is it 4 years now worth of shows that are all this sort of like luchador cowboy concept show kind of motif. So it's so funny how it's like this concept that the Scratch came up with has been responsible for so much of my work now.
Yeah, and then also the Weekend of Tartness.
Oh yeah.
A couple. Not was it the most recent one or the one before? One
I think
before.
it was the 2025 Weekend of Tartness was the one where we had our cowboy luchadors tangling it up with aliens.
That's right. Yeah. So yeah, taken all wonderful weird ways.
Yeah, I love it, man. I sometimes think like my really maybe gone a little bit too far with this stuff, and I'm like, no, I haven't gone far enough.
There's always more.
Yeah.
There's always more to mine.
I think of it like some of those great 80s B grade movie franchises where they just keep cranking them out. You get to like the sixth version of Nightmare on Elm Street or Halloween or whatever, and you're like, oh yeah, maybe they are in space this time. I don't know.
Well, if you're also like you're a fan of comic books too, the amount of things that Batman has faced over the time that Batman's been around, Batman versus Alien, Batman Predator, um, all that type of stuff as well. So why not? If
Yeah,
Batman can do it, one of the most iconic characters ever, why can't you?
of course, or even our hero El Santo and Blue Demon, of course, and our the incredible saga of Lucha Libre films. The amount of these things where Santo has faced pretty well everything on there possibly is, like 60 movies or more. Incredible.
Yeah, Santo versus COVID. We've unfortunately never got to see, but just actually, it should really be Dr. Wagner versus COVID, I suppose,
Hmm.
since he is a licensed medical professional. But
Yeah. Or El Medico Assassino, as we saw in the last Cult Lucha film.
hmm
Oh man, the medical
definitely.
assassin. What an excellent lucha concept.
Yeah. Um, oh my God. Speaking of, you've got another cult lucha coming up.
We do, we do. We have it's a busy weekend coming up here. So this Saturday, got my big return to the Great Artist Market at Felons Barrel Hall. actually going to be inside the barrel hall in front of the barrels this time round. So I'll definitely be consuming a moderate but appropriate amount of barrel aged beers through the art market day. But dude, I'm just stoked to be back. To be back at the great artist market. I feel like it's kind of the biggest kind of showcase of the Brisbane art scene. And they always just do such an incredibly professional job, and it's just always such a fun time. So, if anyone wants to come out, it's at Felons Brewing on Howard Smith Warves. Free entry, starts at 8 a.m. and finishes at 3 p.m., I believe. But love to see everyone there. I have all my latest art wares and even some prints of some of the pieces that are currently up at the scratch that I wasn't even able to get prints ready for the actual show itself, but have them now. So please come on down. And then, yeah, as you were mentioning, on the Sunday night, we've got the next Cult Lucha Part 6, I believe we're up to now. And this time round, we have a doozy. We have Santo is back in one of the real B grade classics, The Treasure of Dracula from 1968. But we've done one better. We're gone the long lost, forgotten, sexy version of this film, the extra saucy version where Dracula is just a heck of a horn dog in this thing, man. I feel like all these sexy scenes were filmed without Santo's knowledge whatsoever, or at least that's what I like to tell myself. So yeah, we have the special re-release of this this version of the movie that's basically softcore pornographic. We have lots of Dracula feasting on some ample bosoms, and yeah, this was actually locked up from release for many years in Mexico, and only was released recently. So it's actually in full color, which was interesting for a movie that was originally released in black and white. And yeah, man, I'm just excited for this bizarre next step of Cult Lucha. It all goes down again at the home of Cult Lucha, Netherworld, and of course my tag team partner in crime, Andrew Leovold of Trash Video fame, will be there, and we'll be teaming it up for an intro. And I got some special B-roll content for the introductory video stuff as well. So please join us. I don't know. Hopefully it's not going to get too weird. I feel like it's going to be a unique evening.
Excellent. They always are.
Yes, we would love to see everyone there. Free evening, all goes down from 7 p.m. Yeah, man, and I got Printorama, Festival of Print after that. We've got the working title, 7 for $7, opening night, and sort of a nostalgic romp through the world of VHS rentals and physical media is the concept of the art show. So I've done up a little something for that. That'll be happening the night of July 4th at Working Title. And then after that, I think we get into the Brisbane Illustration Fair. But this is my busy time of year, man. All the things. You can keep up with it at christhings.com.au/events.
You got it all done.
I think so. Oh man! But I think with that out of the way, we've gotten through our little bit of a recap of the art show and our what's coming up and happening in the world of Chris things. So we'll have a little break here where I'll throw to some fun stuff from the night that was, and let's get into our wrestling club recap.
From my heart and from my hand, why don't people understand my intention?
So my official art show of 2026. This is the thing I've been losing my mind over for the last like 2 or 3 weeks. It's very cool for it to be up, so I'm very excited to see everyone here tonight. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming along. Thank you, of course, to the Scratch for hosting me again for this. I don't know how many shows I've had here now or how many wrestling clubs, but they've always been so absolutely lovely for it. And thank you as well to my cherished partner Kaylin for putting up with me. Yeah. Honestly, I've been like a shell of a human for the last couple of weeks and just been putting up with it like such a sport, so thank you. But yeah, thanks so much everybody. Please have a, enjoy, soak up the art. I look forward to if anyone has any questions or anything, like I'm just stoked that it's up there. And yeah, we'll probably get going for the actual wrestling club portion of this evening. I reckon maybe around like 6. So in the meantime, let's soak up the art, let's have some chats, and thank you so much for everyone for coming along.
But I can't help falling in love with you. Shall I stay? Or it be a sin if I can't help falling in love with you? Like a river flowing, shall we to the sea? Down inside comes something out to me. Take my hand, take my whole life too. For I can't help falling in love with you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've gotten to that time of the evening where it's time for us to watch a little bit of wrestling. Wrestling Club, everybody. It's been a hot minute since we did this thing. We don't do it every month anymore, but like I feel like it's even more special as a special sometimes food. I was telling Joe, like putting this like playlist together for this one was like such a treat after not doing it for a little while, especially having got through like finishing making all the art for this show. It was just like so nice to get to be like, oh, now let's just like work out what kind of wrestling we're going to get to watch on this weekend. So yeah, I was had a lot of fun putting the playlist together. I think this might be our most ridiculous yet. I was also mentioning, like, I feel like we've got a great combination tonight of like campy, ridiculous wrestling and extremely violent wrestling. We've got a great combination of the two on hand tonight. So hope we don't offend people too much. I also kind of hope we do. Like, it's just one of those nice kind of things. We'll see how we go. But yeah, this is again, as Wrestling Club is meant to be. It's a celebration of the eclectic, weird, wonderful wrestling that I've grown up loving. There is some stuff I'll give a little warning for, that it's very like low quality, but at the same time I'll say, if you're not watching wrestling like that's been downloaded from LimeWire or some sort of really like torrent that's got like one seeder that's been like taken about a week to download and it's like 240p, are you even watching wrestling? So some of this, just embrace it how you can. I'm excited for it. I feel like we've got a great mix on hand tonight. If you can last all the way through to the end of the night, we have our little, we'll go around the room and ask everyone what their favourite thing is, and I'll put it up on the podcast. If you guys need to go a little bit earlier, that's totally fine. If you want to buy anything that we've got here in terms of prints or whatnot, just let me know. I've got my pay square here, and if you'd like to buy anything that's on the wall or any prints of anything that's on the wall, just hit up the bar, including the signature t-shirt that we have of the art show, Chris Things 2026 Luchadores versus the Cryptids. Thank you, everybody. Wrestling Club is back. Yeah!
My name is Mark Goulin, and I am, shall we say, a world traveler. Having spent many years in Singapore and being a fan of blood sport, we left on a hunting trip to the mountains of northern China. There, encountering an early season blizzard, the weak were left behind. The strong climbed up the mountain to find refuge in the only place within hundreds of miles, a monastery high on a mountain peak. And that's where I first met Tijo Khan the Great. Tijo Khan was chosen as a child and trained in the most deadly of all martial arts, Mo Tu Kai Chi, pressure point manipulation. He can cause more pain and suffering with the touch of one finger than any man can with a fist, an elbow, or a knee. He is perhaps the most cunning and the most dangerous man in the world, and now, under my expert guidance, is the most devastating man to ever set foot in a wrestling ring. We've come to this part of the world to serve notice on all of your pretty boy stars that their time has passed. We begin the reign of Tijo Khan the Great. Pack your bags, Bill Dundee. Get out of town while you still can, Jerry Lawler. Protect that pretty face, Jeff Jarrett. And Billy Travis, we will break you. We begin the reign of Tijo Khan. Many, many men will suffer.
Estamos. Dile que baje la mano para yo saber. Estamos. Bájale, que baje la mano el camarógrafo para saber si estamos en queue. Que baje la mano él.
What have I got to do? Stand out here all night?
Wait a minute.
You want that shit out here?
No, please, Terry. No, come on, Terry. Please. Please, Terry, please.
Just very funny.
Okay, we're gonna start right now.
Like a little bit of
No.
that shit out there.
Okay, wait a minute. Wait a minute, Terry.
Here go, here.
Dame cue, ¿sí? Que baje la mano el camarógrafo para saber.
Up here. He's typical.
Amigos televidentes, estamos aquí con Terry Funk cuando sale al aire el programa. Ya es domingo. Quiero que sepan que acaba Terry Funk de pasar a la final derrotando a Rick Martello, que quiere decir que en breves horas se enfrentará a Carlitos Colón. When this program airs, Terry, it's already Sunday, which means that in a couple of hours you're going for the finals against Carlos Colón for the Universal title.
In a couple of hours, do you realize the group of people that I had to wade through for this opportunity, this once-in-a-lifetime chance against Carlito Colón? But I have beaten the toughest competition. I have beaten Rick Martel. I have beaten Barry Windham. And now who have I got? I have got Carlito Colón. I said it before, that this island here is nothing more than a giant pig farm. That's right, a pig farm. Nothing but pigs live here. So how could you possibly have a world-class wrestler in Carlos Colón? I'm gonna go in there, chew him up and spit him out because I am a Texan. I'm meaner than a rattlesnake, tougher than shoe leather, more dangerous than a hollow-eyed scorpion. Middle-aged and crazy, brother. Middle-aged and crazy. And the next, that's right, the next Universal Champion. I will never return to Puerto Rico ever again. How do you like that? Never will I ever return to Puerto Rico because you people have absolutely not a gut in your body. You're yellow. You're yellow. You're yellow pigs. 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 Yellow pigs. I'm the new champion. I'm the new.
Bueno, amigos, este señor, la verdad.
I'm Mark Goulin of the House of Goulin, and I am aware that there were many skeptics among you, those of you who did not believe when I described the awesome powers of the mighty Tijo Khan. Many of you have witnessed the total devastation of anyone who has opposed him in the ring. And now, ladies and gentlemen of the wrestling world, I bring you the mighty Tijo Khan the Great. Look at him! What an animal! He's able to run the 40-yard dash in 3.5 seconds. And you think your football players are fast and tough. Ha! He will pick his teeth with their bones. The mighty Tijo Khan. And what an animal. But ladies and gentlemen, I have a surprise coming for you. You must remember Kamala. Well, I have found a man who will make Kamala pale. This man is totally awesome. I found him on one of my trips to the darkest portions of Africa. I will tell you more about him later, but you will see him in the coming week. Your Mamba, the Jungle Savage.
All right, we're back. Oh, did you get to stretch your legs, Joe?
I rolled my shoulders. I limbered up. I'm cracked my neck. I'm ready to go.
Love it. I would like to have said I had time to grab a beer, but I did not. So anyway, man, this was a fun night. As I said in the intro, I feel like this was like one of our most sort of like out there combinations of silly ridiculousness and extreme violence and physicality. Dude, I can't wait to go through this playlist.
It was I will say I having enjoyed it, I realized how much I missed Wrestling Club. Just enjoying the eclectic mix that you put together, the fun little vignettes and in between, and usually including a few promos leading up to a match, especially if it's a bit more of an obscure wrestler that people might not necessarily know that we get introduced to. Smaller promotions and that, and just really, because naturally, I think I said this to you before, but watching Wrestling Club, I'm always thinking like, if I curated it, what would I do? And you realize how hard it is because so many of the quote unquote great matches are just these really long matches. So like, it's like, yeah, that's great, but you can't just put like 4 half-hour Misawa matches back to back to back and then be like, that's it.
Yeah.
That's Wrestling Club. Thanks for coming.
I mean,
so,
you could.
you could.
That would go. I'm
That's
sure
true.
some people would enjoy the heck out of it.
I mean, you and I would. Brad would. A number of people would actually. But yeah, so you do really well in like putting together the card, and it's great variation and everything throughout it.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I always go for that sort of the insane Rob Naylor comp tape from back in the day sort of vibes where you just get, it's all good in its own weird kind of way, but it's sort of the contrast of gone from one thing to something completely different, different side of the world or different eras. That's the real fun of it for me. And, obviously have my favorites that have sort of become regular features at Wrestling Club. And I feel like this special kind of like one night only return of Wrestling Club, was a bit of a celebration of that. So we did have some familiar faces throughout the night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've got trying to think who our recurring. So obviously Tanaka and Mike Awesome. We'll talk about that later. Kenta has made a few appearances.
We have seen a bit of Kenta.
Jushin Liger gets a look in. pretty frequently.
I'm not sure if we got Jushin Liger on this one, but you're
No,
right.
I don't. But he's been in a
He
few.
has been in a few.
We've had a few Eddies in there as well. Has to be
Mhm.
said.
And of
Um,
course, we have to make mention of Terry Funk, the
well,
one man that's been at every single wrestling club.
leave the best to last.
I don't know how that keeps happening, man. Somehow it keeps finding its way in there. But
Yeah, he
as he
does.
should, the greatest professional wrestler of all time, baby.
as voted by Twitter recently, as you
Oh,
pointed out to me.
I was so happy about that. Oh man, it's good when wrestling Twitter can surprise you in a good way, and the listing project worked it out correct. I was very happy with that. But so for the night that was, I'm wary that we have already gone through like 20 something minutes before the start of this playlist.
Alright.
So this was the 18th version of Wrestling Club, I believe, which is wild to look back at, especially starting it on that first one that you were there for back at the downstairs dungeon of Brewski.
Mhm.
And man, it's we've been through. Can't believe we got up to 18, and hopefully who knows, at some point in the future we will maybe have some more special, sometimes food special wrestling club return events. But so for this one, I wanted to start out hot, especially being the art show wrestling club. I kind of wanted to make it a little extra special. We start out one of my very favorite ever wrestling clips of Tiger Mask singing some Elvis classics from 1983 on some sort of Japanese TV show. Big, elegant stage. You would have heard some of those wonderful, beautiful singing sounds and skills of Tiger Mask Satoru Sayama in the intro here. Dude, that clip never fails to make me so happy.
It is like a fever dream. Like,
Mm.
it's like, listen, I just wake up with a malarial dream thinking that you heard Tiger Mask singing Elvis. I have to say he's pretty good, for a guy that's not it's him. It's actually him, he's not lip syncing, so hats off to him singing in a foreign language as well
It
for
feels
him.
like a
So,
great pro wrestling match in a way, where there's clearly some struggle, but he
mhm.
overcomes and it ends it in triumphant fashion, and everyone just you got to appreciate it. I feel like it was the perfect thing to start the night, and like everyone in the bar's like, "What the heck is going on here?"
I think too, like the fact that he's in full ring attire with the
Oh, the
cape.
cape! Oh my gosh!
So he's not just like in a, because you might have expected them to put him maybe in a suit and keep the mask on him,
Mm.
or have him dress up like in an Elvis jumpsuit, but no. Um, not looking entirely comfortable, but he commits. So karaoke fighting spirit, I guess, is what we
So
get.
great, so great, and we would go on to get a little bit more Tiger Mask as the night would continue. A little bit of a Tiger Mask theme here to follow up, but we then had a bit of a callback to our latest Cult Lucha evening with the evil dwarves. I did mention at that Cult Lucha night that on this wrestling club we would have a little bit of a celebration of the great, some of my favorite mini luchador matches. So we started this out with one of my real favorite ones from one of the greatest wrestling pay per views of all time. The show itself being AAA When Worlds Collide from uh, 6th of November 1994 at the Los Angeles Memorial Sports Arena. This was the first match on the card that, again, like I said, one of the all-time greatest cards you ever will see in your life, featuring two of the great Technico minis, Mascarita Sagrada and Octagoncito, against Espectrito and Jerito Estrada. And yeah, such a fun little match to kick things off.
Uh, yeah, no pun intended, a fun little match. Genuinely a banger of a match though. Like,
Oh yeah.
not really not any freak show element to it, to be honest. Do you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't played for comedy or laughs. It was, they just put on a banger of a match.
And I think
If you
that was
had,
awesome because, like so much before that, especially if you watch any American like retro classic mini wrestling, a lot of it is the comedy and the laughs kind of stuff. And this just, all four guys were awesome, excellent rudo work, especially from Espectrito. Got to be one of the greatest mini rudos of all time. I just adored him in this match, and yeah, Mascarita Sagrada and Octoncito just looked phenomenal in this thing. Like, it's like about as
yeah,
perfect a match as you could possibly get.
yeah, and I mean, to the point too, like, this is still, we're still in the era of Vince bringing out little people dressed up as wrestlers he wants to sort of make fun of.
Mm.
We're still well in that era. And so to see like something like this in America, just showing them, what they can do, it was super cool. And it's like, I didn't realize even that, is it Mascarita Sagrada? Is that
Oh,
the wrestler?
we've lost you there for a moment, Joe. I think you're back. You're back.
Sorry, you got me there?
Yeah, can hear you now. All
Yep.
good.
Yes. Sorry, saying that Mascarita Sagrada, is that the
Mm-hmm.
wrestler? This is that I didn't even know that he came before Mascarita Dorada, Mascara Dorada. So like that's a cool thing to sort of like you're so good that we have to make a big version of you, basically.
Yeah. As we learned in our PowerPoint presentation at
Hmm.
Cult Lucha. But yeah, I believe there was 4 different incarnations of Masquerita Sagrada, or at least 3. But yeah, the last one being the most enduring. But man, so incredibly talented. This version that we're seeing here. And I also wanted to put over the incredible commentary on this thing. The whole show, Mike Tenay and Chris Cruz do such an excellent job of introducing American viewers to a lot of the tropes and giving a bit of an understanding of lucha. This is like the greatest preparatory introduction course anyone could possibly have. So, man, Mike Tenay and Chris Cruz did such a great job here.
Yeah, yeah, it was that was fantastic. I didn't expect it, but and everyone in the room as well really popped for this. Great way to start.
Thank you. Then we got introduced to one of the world's greatest professional wrestling managers in Mark Goulin of the House of Goulin, Joe. And his upcoming monster, that is Tito Khan. Oh my god.
Yes. One of your threads that you thread throughout the night, these promos, each more delirious and insane than the last, basically.
The thing with this is it doesn't really lead to a match that's particularly great or memorable. But I felt like we at least had to have some semblance of the match. Otherwise, people would be like, "Well, who's this Tito Khan? We never even got to see him wrestle." But sometimes it's more about the journey than the destination.
That's beautiful. The thing about Tijo Khan is you kind of expect. I think I said this maybe to you that you kind of expect someone like the size of, I don't know, Kane or Big Show, but then he comes along. He's like, he's not that much bigger than Gulin, really. But but you've heard how badass he is, so get
I mean, they
ready.
trained in the Orient, Joe.
Say no
Monks,
more.
I believe.
Monks. That's what monks are doing. They're just waiting for Westerners to come around. Like, all right, here comes another one. Welcome to the Orient.
Especially ones that look like they just walked straight out of like a southern bar or roadhouse or something.
Yeah. Not particularly Oriental looking at all.
So good.
But his name is Tijo Khan, so I mean,
The great Tijo Khan.
that's So my apologies. My apologies to Tijo Khan.
Oh boy. We then jump into a little ECW and the TV in the weeks leading up to the big ECW Anarchy Rules 1999 pay-per-view. one of the real classic ECW pay-per-views of the late 90s, I feel. And we have the build to the big Taz versus Masato Tanaka world title match, baby. And a bit of a promo for Taz. We get a little bit of that ECW crowd and Joey Styles leading the cult. Man, so much vibes.
Yeah, yeah, and then big payoff to come later in the night
Oh,
as
yeah.
well, which was great. I was pumped as soon as I saw this.
Oh, man, so great. I mean, this is where I try to set the table a little bit, like set us up for a bit of the feel of ECW, because a lot of the time when you watch these matches, a lot of time people watch them on like a DVD in like isolation, so you lose a
Hmm.
little bit of that atmosphere. So that's what I always endeavor to bring back a little more, make you feel a little bit like you're part of that grimy ECW arena, late 90s fanatics.
Yeah, but it's something we won't go off topic here, but we spoke on the night about how you had gone back and really rewatched the lead up to the recent Mask vs. Mask Apuestas match for the El Grande Americano stuff and
Mm,
Triple AR. And so it's interesting, you did that because like that is the way we all experience. If you're watching wrestling normally, I mean, some people might just watch pay-per-views, but usually if you're a bit of a fan, you are watching the lead up and the build, and sometimes the match exceeds the build and sort of makes up for a bad build, and there's other times when you can have a great build and then the match doesn't pay off. But the best ones are usually have this really great lead up to it. And you're right, like when it's just on YouTube or on a DVD or whatever, you do lose a lot of that. You don't,
yeah.
the
I mean, I'm
anticipation
I'm
is a big
such
part of it.
a build guy, and you're right. It's about the anticipation, and that's so just for me what I love about wrestling, and especially watching some of that classic stuff. Whether it's like ECW that had that like excellent like TV booking and the lead up, the promos, the storylines, and everything, or like old Mid South, or old Crockett stuff, or whatever it is. To me, the build is almost the more enjoyable part. And yeah, that's what I try to share a little bit. But yeah, man, I'll definitely, yeah, I'll be very excited to do a full on podcast episode when we get up to that, as the match of the week of the big Grande versus Grande Apuestas match. Oh boy.
Hmm. Hmm.
But next up, we jumped into our Joshi match of the evening. This is two. I think we've seen some of Shinobu Kandori before in Wrestling Club. We've highlighted a bit of her work in the past. Incredible, one of the great Joshi badasses that you ever did see. But this one, we have a match from the LLPW promotion. Shinobu Kandori versus Megumi Kudo, one of the all-time greats of FMW fame, in a street fight, a chain street fight, Joe. This one took place on the 5th of January 1997 at Korakuen Hall, and man, this thing was wild.
Yes, it was, I mean, almost a contender for my match of the night. Um, Kudo, just like, again, seeing why she is the legend she is
So
in
much
these
heart.
types of matches. Oh, and and you wouldn't believe it. And then if you, I've said this to you before, if you follow her on Instagram, seems she's now like this very sweet older Japanese lady, and just a maniac in any time she steps into the ring. But like in a very baby face way at the same time, a maniac in the sense of what she's willing to do and put herself through. And some of the spots they do with the chain in this is so key,
Oh,
and
so
it's
good.
really brutal, like unbelievable. And without, because I can't remember every single beat of it, but the ending to this, which is uh, a tap out basically, because she's threatening to lynch her with a chain
Well,
over
which she
the.
already sort of did earlier. That was like one of the interesting parts. I rewatched this, when I was in a slightly less drunk state of mind. And there was a great bit mid-match where Pandora is like choking her, basically like hanging her over the top rope. And she sells it so great, and then she just sort of like slumps down. The referee's going nuts, and her eyes kind of like roll back, and you're sort of like, is she dead? Like, there's a real
Yeah.
moment where it's just like, I think that's got to be probably my favorite moment of the match, and she's covered in blood and everything, just an insanely great visual. Yeah, man, and it's such a great finish, and a lot of crazy crowd brawling, and she puts
Hmm.
her, well, kind of puts her through an upside down table up on the Korakuen stage. That was pretty
Oh
brutal.
yes.
But yeah, the finish where she wraps her in a chain and threatens to like throw her off the top of the Korakuen balcony, and she's legit like hanging for her life. That finally gives it up. Man, such a great finish.
Yeah, I'd forgotten about the. It puts it through the bottom, through a table, but with the bottom of the table facing upwards. And it's one of those small, well-constructed Japanese tables. It's just got covered in steel on the bottom of it. It's mental.
Oh,
Um, yeah, it's just an incredible bump.
yeah, great match. Would highly recommend to everyone. And I think we'll have to see when we go around the room at the end of the podcast here and see. But I think there's someone who at least had it as their favourite from my hazy drunk memory. We then got our Tiger Mask match of the evening. We've got Tiger Mask Satoru Sayama in his very first match in Japan, at least, as part of sort of the official rivalry against Dynamite Kid. This is in New Japan, the WFF Big Fight Series 2. Don't know what that is, but cool name. It took place on April 23rd, 1981 at the old Kurame Kokugikan Sumo Hall. And man, just what a match. I think we mentioned on the night, just insane that, for this one, they haven't even really fully developed what would, go on to be one of the greatest rivalries of all time. And already this thing is just some most beautiful and greatest professional wrestling I've ever seen.
Yeah. Um, and for a match that's not very long, I think the less than 12 minutes, it's only really about 10
Yeah.
when you factor in that. They do so much. And to your point, like there's a few little spots in it that don't kind of go completely clean, but they already you can see that they a couple of times adapt on the fly and sort of sell it a bit like there's one in particular. I don't really know what they're going for, but they go through this thing and it doesn't quite work, and then you see Dynamite Kid just sort of sell it as if he's hurt himself in a certain way, and this looks so good. One thing I did notice, I rewatched it this afternoon, was there's this great point which I didn't pick up on in the night, was puts Tiger Mask into this sort of leg lock submission at one point, and he's just sort of yelling at him like, come on, and trying to get him to submit. And then when Tiger Mask gets up, and I don't know whether it's real or not, but he sells the leg as if he's really quite weakened in the leg. And so just, yeah, you see why these matches are still so revered. And I think I said to you on the night that you could take this match, and if you could get two people who could do it beat for beat, you could do it in any promotion, and it would still be like one of the best matches of the night. So
100%.
it's just, yeah, like that speaks to it. It's almost timeless. It's so good.
Easy match that I think you could have a lot of people saying of all of the amount that this rivalry is hyped up. People could think this is kind of overrated, but man, you watch it and you're like, nah, dude. There's a reason why this is just so groundbreaking, especially for like 1981. Just insane. tremendous match, and yeah, the exact kind of thing that I love to play at wrestling club. And I was like, if we're having a Sayama match, like it's hard to go past the Dynamite series, you know.
Yeah. And just everything, just the physicality of Dynamite as well. Something about him, just the way he moves,
So
those snap
solid.
suplexes. Yeah, just everything feels meaty and weighty and real. And it's a fantastic match to watch. I'd recommend it to anybody.
I'm a big fan of both of these gentlemen, and yeah, man, like so good. I feel like there's one of those ones that had everyone kind of glued to the screen, and such a great finish as well. Just like one of those finish that's like, that is it. That is perfect. This is perfect wrestling.
Beautiful bridge.
Yeah,
Just a beautiful bridging suplex. Yeah.
perfect. We then got another one of our part 2 of Mark Goulin presents T-Show Khan. Not sure if this is the one where we got to see him doing wind sprints, coming out of the water, but a bit of a throwback to that amazing Buzz Sawyer versus Roddy Piper match build. I got a little bit of those vibes, but man, so magical.
I mean, nothing will ever top those. For me, those are the greatest.
This might be a bit outlandish to say, but I don't think T-Joe Khan is quite Buzz Sawyer.
Or Roddy Piper. Yeah, that's a fair assessment.
We then got our match I was very excited for, our second of our mini showcase of the evening. We get Masquerita Dorada in CMLL now against one of his greatest rivals over there, Pepino Damien 666, who these days is still doing a lot of incredible stuff and doing a lot of stuff in the deathmatch scene. He's now currently known as Damus or Damus CCCs. Tremendous luchador. So this one took place on the 4th of December 2009. It was at CMLL's big Sin Salida 2009 show, and it was a lightning match. So they have the 10-minute time limit, and man, they made the most of their minutes. This thing, so much fun.
Really fantastic as well. So we're assuming Damien Says is a reference to the Omen. That's where it's coming from.
I mean, perhaps he is the mini version of Damien Says. So I assume he's the one who who did that. But,
who's the OG? Okay, fair enough.
But yeah, I think you're likely very correct there.
That's pretty cool. Once again, sort of just see why Masquerita Dorada was such a just so influential, or so just created his own sort of identity, really, rather than being the mini version of something, or something completely new, to the point where they created a full size version. So, yeah, great match.
Very fun, and a nice tight little match, sort of like not. We had some that went a bit longer. This was more on the bite size side of things, but I thought just an excellent showcase for how amazing the mini luchadors can be. And again, like you're saying, a lot more than just punchline of a joke kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
We then got the opening to the classic Tiger Mask manga cartoon TV show that is, and the intro song as part of it. That is just, man, so cool. That song, I'm sure you'll be hearing at some point of this podcast. Dang, that was such a cool intro. Really, what makes me want to go back and watch that entire thing from the start.
I love that Tiger Mask and Jushin both are fictional characters that they then turned into real wrestlers, and then just because they happen to pick, well, in Tiger Mask's case, like a succession of people, but they happen to pick incredibly good wrestlers, so therefore they lived on rather than flamed out. Is really cool.
Yeah, yeah. You like think how different history could have been if they picked guys that weren't quite the some of the greatest, legit greatest of all time wrestlers.
Yeah.
And
And in Tiger Mask, they
wow,
went from like one of the greatest to another one of the greatest. So
oh
it's like,
man,
and then you had like the evil with the Black Tigers having two again back to back, another two great wrestlers.
oh yeah, and as well, like even to the third one in Silver King, I'd have to say Silver King's got to be one of the most underrated luchadors of all time, and he was a tremendous Black Tiger. Well,
Yeah, it's interesting.
yeah. All right, then we go to probably our most violent match of the evening, depending on how you score violence in professional wrestling. I guess we got a few different flavors of it through the night, but at least in terms of the one that feels like a very violent fight and celebration of shoot style wrestling. We get one of my all-time favorites, the Yakuza boss himself, the high side terrorist Kazunari Murakami, facing off against the creator of battle arts, ace of battle arts, and another one of my all-time favorites, Yuki Ishikawa. This one took place in battle arts in November 26th of the year 2000. And dude, this is my kind of wrestling right here.
Brutal, just absolutely brutal to watch these two go at it. And Kuzunari, just one of the great faces. I don't mean that in a positive wrestling term. I mean literally his physical face. Is him. It's like neck and neck between him and Devil Masami for two
Oh
of the
yeah.
greatest faces. Kind of wish we could splice them together to create the next generation of evil looking human.
Oh man, that baby would be Satan himself.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. Forget about Damien say. He might just actually be the devil. Yeah, just it just looks like an anime character come to life. No exaggeration. I don't think he's even making that face. I think just forget about resting bitch face. It's like resting Satan face.
Hmm.
Um, Incredible. And then the match itself, the physicality of it was just so brutal. Some of those shots, I don't know how they weren't legit, just knocked out.
I also love this because it's such a great, like, there's a lot of different styles of shoot style wrestling and a lot of different matches that are very close to my heart. But I love this in terms of like it's a shoot style match, but we have such a pure baby face and such a pure heel, within
Hmm.
the confines of sort of the shoot style. And we even get like, a bit of crazy like brawling into the crowd and stuff. Like it's like a unique flavor and presentation of shoot style wrestling that's a little bit different to what you might see in UWFI or some of the other rings, those kind of promotions. So yeah, such a great match.
Yeah, it was awesome. And then you're right too. It's like you've got the violence of the Kudo match earlier, but it's a very different. It's believable, but still heightened and a bit. But this one just feels like that shoot style. Feels like you're watching an MMA match or a K1 match or whatever.
Some of those
Fantastic.
punches, man. Oof.
Oh, no, thank you. I'm good.
Oh, tremendous match. Another one. If you haven't seen this one, I'd highly recommend seeking it out. Just magical. We then got our next preview of the upcoming Taz versus Tanaka title match. This one I got from the pre-show, the countdown pre-show that they used to have back in the day, where they used to have the timer to get you hooked in to buy the pay-per-view if you hadn't already, which I so miss as a concept. Having the actual like countdown timer there, Joey just like hyping this match like something fierce. Um, Man, this just got me sizzled up for this match, dude.
Yeah. Again, I really enjoyed having that build to it. Um, just know it's coming, you know? Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah. Then we jump over to something completely different. in the world of Memphis wrestling. This is the studio TV show from December 12th, 1987. That being, I believe, the official in-ring debut of Tijo Khan. We got just a absolutely great. We got the intro from the TV show and the music video intro that I have so much nostalgia for. We got perhaps my favorite wrestling commentator of all time, Lance Russell, being just so entirely Lance, and the absolute strangeness of Mark Goulin. It's just, I enjoyed this very, very much.
Yep. And I will say every time I see Lance, all I can think of is I think from the first or second wrestling club
The
was
first wrestling club.
it was the Terry promo where I've said it before, but he calls Lance, just calls him Lance, and it sounds like a racial slur. The magic of Terry. And every time I see him, I'm just like, Lance, it's him. Why would you,
Lance!
Lance? What would you know, Lance? Yeah.
Oh,
Um,
so
yes,
good.
Gulin was the highlight of this series. Of the match and of the promos. Gulin, it's the Gulin show, really. But so maybe you could argue, did he really get Tijo Khan over as he should have? I don't know, but I had a good time.
I certainly became a fan of Mark Goulin through watching this, I'll
Yeah.
tell you that. And so the funny thing about this, so I cut it. They actually go on to Mark Goulin going on to try to recruit, some different members for the House of Goulin. He sort of like, but gets back in and keeps it going. But I really liked cutting it off where I did, because I feel like it ends with Goulin, telling Lance how much he's gonna regret it for cutting him off, and then Lance just sort of trails off in the most wonderfully Lance Russell fashion, where he just kind of is like, well, you'll learn a lesson too if you keep interrupting people. Someone will maybe interrupt you. All right, what's next?
You tell him, Lance.
Oh, the world of professional wrestling needs more Lance Russell commentators. I swear, man.
Mhm.
My favorite. That guy is a saint.
I don't think they make him like that anymore, unfortunately.
And we got a little bit of it with, like, I really did love JR there through a lot of the early AEW run. A lot of similarities as the aging kind of like commentator who just doesn't want to take people's shit,
Mhm.
and just kind of like goes off on his own stuff sometimes. I really miss that. But anyway, we then went to another one of, I would say, perhaps the greatest wrestling promos of all time. We are in the world of WWC Puerto Rico. It's the finals of WWC Universal Heavyweight Title Tournament in San Juan, Puerto Rico. Yes, Capital Sports Promotions, the 13th anniversario show. This is 1986, September 21st, in the finals of the tournament. In some of the previous wrestling clubs, I think we actually got it one of the earlier rounds, but we've got Terry Funk. He's made it to the finals against the face of Puerto Rican wrestling, the one and only Carlos Colon. And we start out with Terry being so belligerent with the commentator of WWC. What's his name?
He said it today. What's his
Hugo Savanovic.
That's it. Yeah.
With a tremendous mullet, and man, again, I'll make sure to show you some of this promo in this podcast. But man, this was so ridiculous and so amazing.
It's funny, after you mentioned it, it randomly popped up in one of the many Instagram wrestling things I follow. And the two things that I enjoyed about it was, at one point, Terry's obviously, sort of so enunciating his words so forcefully that he's spraying Hugo in the face, and Hugo starts wiping his face off with the spittle. So that's one of my
And then
favorite
Terry
parts.
leans into it even more and
Yes.
keeps it
Yep.
going, and he
Yep.
purposely. Oh my gosh! And then there's the
Yes.
best part as well is the guys in the background. So this will be good to add a little bit of visualization when you do it on the podcast here. There's just these. It's almost like military
Yeah.
enforcement in the background. One of which it's smoking a cigarette, just looking very disdainfully upon what Terry Funk is saying. Is he gonna get roughed up or somehow put in a Puerto Rican jail at the commencement of this show for his words here?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Fantastic. And then just to see, you can really see Terry in real time. He's started calling the people of Puerto Rico pigs, which is a great start. And the crowd doesn't like that, surprisingly. And then he starts calling them yeller, and they also don't care for that. So he slams them together and calls them a bunch of yellow pigs, and they really don't like it. And so he just decides to keep screaming, yellow, yellow pigs, yellow pigs. And it is watching um, that improv mindset of Terry in a wrestling promo that's so fantastic when it works so well.
Oh, this just brought so much joy. Another one of those ones where I was a little bit, nervous about the blatant racism element here. But I feel like the fact that Terry puts this on so thick to be so vulgar and so distasteful, and then goes on to just get his ass beat in every which way by
Yeah.
Carlos Colon, representing the passion and the pride of the Puerto Rican people against this ugly American. I just thought it told such a great story. Terry has no shame about showing his ass when he needs to, and sometimes literally, and just being the consummate, heel in these scenarios. And this whole thing, from the promo to the match to it ending in a rainstorm,
Mm.
I adored everything about this. And I'm gonna say it now, Joe. When I did the rewatch of this thing, as we talk to our drunker selves later in the evening when we go around the room, I may have a different thing on what my favorite match was on the actual night itself. But from the matches that I rewatched here in preparation for this podcast, this took it away from me. This thing just
Wow.
so great. This was my later rewatch match of the night.
Interesting. Your sober rewatch. Sober match of the night and drunken match of the night. Two different things.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. I mean, second everything you say about there's lots of Terryisms in there, the sort of
Oh god.
getting punched and spinning around and copping another punch and then drunkenly sort of throwing punches to no one being there, all of that.
And getting hung up on the ropes, the headbutt
Course.
stuff,
Of course.
him brawling into the crowd, throwing entire
Yes.
rows of chairs.
Yes. Yes. Oh my God. To be in that crowd and just yeah, an incredible match. And then although I will say it's interesting you say about him being like this, he's very clear in that promo that he's like, I am from Texas. So he's not an American, he's a
It's true.
Texan.
It's
a
true.
very different thing.
A clear differentiation there.
That's right.
And West Texas at that. That's its own unique
True.
brand of Texas, the tough guys that come out of Amarillo.
Yep. What's he say? Meaner than a rattlesnake and tougher than shoe leather.
Oh,
That's
God.
him.
Something about a yellow-eyed scorpion.
Or
Yeah.
dead-eyed scorpion, a no-eyed scorpion. Anyway, it doesn't sound good. I don't know. It's a scorpion of some variety that we don't want to tangle with, and that's him.
Also, this may be the first time in a chronological order that I heard Terry refer to himself as middle-aged and crazy, and he had some real pomp on that as well. So cool.
Yeah. 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 And all in a sort of aquamarine poncho as he delivers all of this. So
Oh,
Yeah.
this was everything. This was everything for me, man. And I thought, obviously it was the Terry show, as often is the case, but I thought Carlos Colon here was just fantastic in having the most minimalistic kind of offense, but just doing so much with so little. I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't really yeah, exactly. You just let Terry do what Terry does, and you just punch him a few times, and
Few punches, few headbutts.
yeah, job's done.
Oh man, this was just so great. And one of the negatives of it is I feel like when you watch it, you get very little of the crowd noise because I don't think they mic the crowd like at all in this thing. I guarantee that crowd was going insane, during this match. You often hear those Puerto Rican crowds from this era being just the most rabid you ever see. Man, just the visual of it ending in like a rainstorm and all those umbrellas popping up just brought me to the
Yeah,
next level of joy.
outdoors too. Like, the sound also would sort of dissipate a bit quicker
Mm,
than an indoor venue as well.
yeah, yeah. So then we get to our Noah match of the evening. So this being two of my all-time Noah favorites, Takeshi Morishima and Kenta, one-on-one. This is actually for the Ring of Honor World Championship. As Morishima is the Ring of Honor World Champion at this point, one of the all-time great ROH World Championship reigns, I would say. This took place at Noah's Navigate for Evolution '07 show from the 4th of March 2007. I believe, and it was in the Big Show home of Noah, the beautiful Budokan Hall, and another match where it like wasn't here for a long time, but it was here
Hmm.
for a furiously good time.
Yeah, I watched it today, and uh, it doesn't feel like a short match, but it is honestly quite a short match once you factor in the entrances and that. But they just go hell for leather. And the other thing I was thinking, I don't know, this is you could tell me if I'm wrong about this. I was watching Kenta in this match, and some of the moves and just the way he moves, you see his influence on like that sort of generation that comes after him in Japan from the West. So like Prince Devitt, um, and even Omega a little bit, like just the way something about the way Kenta moves and delivers his stuff. I just think they were both really influenced by him. Maybe that's just
Oh
me.
yeah, I can see that. I mean, I definitely would say neither of them quite took his level of physicality that we
No,
see here in
no,
in
no,
this one.
no.
But
Oh my
man, some of
God.
the most insane stuff ever. I thought it was very interesting in this match. Like so much of it is Kenta just kicking the shit out of Morishima. Like
Oh my
there's a
God.
good portion where look at this match and you look at these two and you're like, all right, my brain's version of this match is Morishima is just gonna like beat the crap out of the smaller Kenta, and then Kenta will get some licks in, probably some very very good licks, similar to that amazing Kenta versus Tenru match. And then Morishima goes over. That's that. But man, no, this was like Kenta just beat his ass for a good like 6 minutes or more, including one of the most brutal double stomps to the outside, a springboard double stomp to the outside
Yeah,
of the ring. That I do not know how that thing did not break Morishima's ribs, but
yeah,
man, and
that
then
was
it's such a
mental.
greatly like physical, final stretch of the match as well. Like such a great short match. I loved it. So close to this being my sober match of the night. You know.
um, the thing about Kenta is he delivers a lot of punishment, but geez, he takes it too. Like he just gets drilled again and again.
Mm.
A couple of those lariats that he gets hit with, it
Oh
just gets
man, there's
folded in
one like
half.
that sort of that classic Stan Hansen turnaround lariat that just the
Hmm.
crowd loses their mind over, and he just looks like he takes his soul out of his body. Man,
Yeah,
and he really
great.
earned it because he was a real dickhead up until that point too.
Yeah, exactly. Um, there's something about that dynamic where you're sort of rooted for him because he's the smaller guy, but he is such a dick that you enjoy him getting punished. So it's a real push-pull thing going on as an audience watcher. But yeah, amazing match.
Match very much captures the magic of Kenta at this time. And yeah, one of my real favorites. So I was very much enjoyed getting to show that as our Noah match of the evening. We then went on to our not our final, our second last minis match of the night. The one and only Luchador minis tag match in WCW Nitro history. This one was from the December 20th, 1996 Nitro from Knoxville, Tennessee. It was hyped up all through the show. They really made it a special thing. They were originally seeing it appears like the mini luchadors are going to be a big part of Nitro's presentation going forward. Here we got Masquerita Dorada, no, Masquerita Sagrada, sorry, and Octagon Cito again against Dorito Estrada is back, and Piratita Morgan. And this is brief, but so much fun. And Bobby the Brain Heenan apparently got in quite a bit of trouble for some of the things he said on commentary during this match, but he was nonetheless classically Bobby Heenan hilarious.
Yes, he seemed things you couldn't do anymore
No,
as a commentator. um, but that's that was his
most
role.
don't have the charm of Bobby the Brain Heenan.
Also true. Also true. Um, yeah, no, it was another great match. It was great to have these sprinkled throughout the night. Something we actually hadn't seen. We hadn't seen it all in Wrestling Club before, so it was really cool.
Yeah, man, very very fun one, quick match, but at least it's like I think quite significant being the one and only sort of WCW Nitro version of minis. And I don't know why they never had any more from this point forward. And they just canned the whole thing. But either way, an interesting anomaly. We then went on to our big sort of main event of the evening. We get to ECW Anarchy Rules 1999, September 19th in Via Park, Illinois. So this as we had built up, was meant to be Masato Tanaka versus Taz. And so an interesting thing when I was rewatching this, you really notice how much the crowd has totally turned on their former hero Taz. They hate him. There are so many "fuck you Taz" chants going. You sold out, all the rest of it. So the thing here, shortly before this, the news came out that Taz was going to the competition, going to WWF. And as a guy who always represented the opposite of that, those ECW diehards were very disappointed in him doing this. No longer fans of the current ECW world champion. So it created an interesting dynamic here where you're like, oh man, this match is just going to be the crowd shitting on Taz all the way through, assuming Taz does put over Tanaka, on his way out. It's not really going to be, all that special anymore because everyone knows what's going to happen. But what they did here, booking wise, to make up for that, I thought was genius because shortly into it, we see that Mike Awesome and Judge Jeff Jones are in the crowd. And we thankfully have Paul Lee Dangerously, Paul Heyman there at ringside as well, who decides to, you know what, Taz is all right with it. Let's turn this into a three-way dance for the ECW World Championship between Taz, Masato Tanaka, and Mike Awesome. And Taz is eliminated like 3 minutes in.
Yeah.
But I thought that was booking genius. Like with all of that that sort of like in mind of where things were at that point with the crowd having turned on Taz.
Yeah, well, I mean, you've got to improvise, and you're right. Like they could see probably what that crowd was going to do and where it was going to go. And then we end up with this. You do end up then not knowing which direction they'll go in. Once he goes, it is a bit of who's going to, it's up for either of these guys to get it. And then, of course, we get right in our wheelhouse with a Tanaka Mike Awesome match. Speaking of two of the patron saints of wrestling club.
Oh yeah.
um,
I was very close to wanting to present like the next midway point of their series before this one, because there's a ECW fan cam of a match they had. That's a very not. It doesn't seem like many people are across this one. There's real deep cut one that I'd recommend checking out. But no, I thought for such a special night like this, I wanted to have a big one, a big special one, and this has got to be one of my favorite, most nostalgic points of this series in ECW. I'd say.
yeah, I mean, look, if you include a Mike Awesome match in anything, I'll be happy. So I'm working my way through some weird 2-hour mix of All Japan Mike Awesome on YouTube. So I'm always on board. Yeah.
So good. Oh man, yeah, this was awesome. We had so much of what we've come to love about the Masato Tanaka versus Mike Awesome, rivalry. I thought Taz's bits early on were perfect as well. Looked really, really good. I thought it was a great finish in getting him out. Like he still looks strong, I guess, because he got beat by two guys, but at the same time, he's out. And the crowd gets to sing the hey, goodbye to him, which was another thing that stood out on rewatch. It was pretty funny. But yeah, man, Sato Tanaka versus Mike Awesome. What's not to love? This just rock'em sock'em robots. We had so many callbacks to some of their previous stuff, some of the previous finishes to their matches. They sort of like kicked out of or used as like, oh shit, what's gonna happen now? Yeah, man, and then that finish was just spectacular, and the start of the era of ECW World Champion Mike Awesome, baby.
Hell yeah. And then unfortunately he left as well for WCW. So
He did, but we got an awesome. It's kind of funny thinking about that, like basically doing the exact same thing as what Taz did, and then yeah, the way they sort of had Taz come back to be the one that beat him was like so strange. But yeah, man, I think that it was at least like really fantastic world title reign.
yeah, for sure.
But yeah, incredible match, and then we finished off with another match that I thought historic and a match that I thought kind of was a great end to our ongoing thing of these mini matches in Lucha Libre. We get the first ever Apuestas cage match in CMLL. This one took place at CMLL's La Hora Cero special show on January 11th, 2009 at Arena Mexico, of course. That involved 13 men putting their masks and hair. I believe some of them might have been putting their hair. I can't remember on the line. But man, this thing just from the ridiculous how long the entrances took to the great weird James Bond music that we got during some of the entrances to seeing some of the absolute mini greats like we said, Mascarita Dorada, Perejito, I thought was absolutely fantastic in this as well. Shockacito, of course. Yeah, man, I very much enjoyed this as a very weird but fitting end to the night.
Yeah. Look, I mean, we probably actually haven't done a huge amount of. We've had war games, but we haven't. I say we like I've done anything, but like cage matches in wrestling club really, and to have it in CMLL was really cool to see.
Yeah. I mean, it was a big tradition of theirs. The big Domo della Muerte, the big Questus cage match. They were doing it every year for quite a while there, and it's awesome. You know, a lot of it is just guys like crawling out of the cage, and it's like, all right, he's safe, and then you. But there's so much drama by the time you get down to the last guys that are left, and the official Questus match starts, and um, yeah, it's so much to love.
Yeah, a lot of fun. Was it you who said, or somebody said to me the other night that it's an interesting thing that people find um, are usually a bit confused about in these this type of Apuestas match where they pin somebody and then you get to leave. Do you know what I mean? Like you
Mm,
get to like in other Apuestas matches, like you would think that that normally, it's like a bit like I think a lot of people think of it more like I don't know what to say, like a Royal Rumble, like you've been eliminated by losing, but by winning you get eliminated and get to
yeah, but you've
leave,
saved your
basically.
mask.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So like it's a fun, and I think obviously you've got to the smart thing about it obviously is that if it's just um the only problem when it's one on one is that it's a bit easier to predict who's going to lose it. But if you've
Mm.
got a few options in there, you've got like, yeah, as a viewer, it's a lot more fun.
I mean, officially, this one had Cosmico, Electrico, El Niño de Acero, Fantasy, Masquerita Dorada, Pequeño Ninja, Pequeño Olímpico, Pequeño Universal 2000, Pequeño Warrior, Perejito, Suki, Ultimo Dragoncito, and of course, Shokacito. So
Chocosito. That's
some
great.
great representation there of some of the all time great minis of this era.
Hmm.
And
That was
yeah,
awesome.
I think quite groundbreaking for mini wrestlers to finally get an Apuestas match and to get the main event, and to be presented as their own special thing equal to the full size luchadors. Um, I think it's awesome to look at when you think of it in those eyes.
Yeah. Yeah. Historic, as you said, for sure.
Yeah, very very fun one, and yeah, some especially great stuff down that final stretch with Perejito. Another one of those real great like you know Rudo minis that is such a great base for the really spectacular Technico minis.
Hmm. Yeah. That dynamic, like once you start looking for it, you know what I mean?
Mm.
In Lucha, is such a fun thing to see then when it comes to matchups as well, to think about who's going to work well together once they get in the ring.
Yeah, and it makes you
S-
appreciate those rudos. It takes two men to tango, and it takes special talents to make those incredible technicos like your Masquerita Dorada or Masquerita Sagrada or Octagoncito all look as spectacular as they do.
yeah, of course.
But yeah, that was our night. That was everybody. I by the point the cage match came on, I'm pretty sure I was very drunk. So we'll see where we go for a very drunk version of our go around the room for everyone's final thoughts. But can I ask Joe, did you have any different thoughts on sober rewatch as your favorite match of the night compared to the one that was?
No, I will say like maybe I appreciated the Kenta one more, but I still loved it on the night.
Mm,
I'm pretty what I can't remember now actually is I'm pretty sure I chose Dynamite and Tiger Mask on the night, and I stand by that. Having watched it today,
nice.
I still think that thing slaps. That's just really um, in my wheelhouse in terms. But if I had to pick a top three, I'd go that one, the Kudo match, and the Noah match.
Awesome.
That would be my top three of the night, I guess.
I love that. Yeah, I think mine's got to be the our aforementioned Mike Awesome one that was the match of the week last week.
Hmm.
Our that Terry one again really spoke to me and gave me so much joy when I was rewatching it. But the Noah one, man, that holy balls, that was something else. And the good thing about that, that's just sort of like a taster. So there are some other absolutely incredible, more long form matches that had one another as well. Check out that. But yeah, man, this is all the kind of wrestling that I love, and I love to get to share it with everybody.
Well, as I said, it was a pleasure to take part in it again, and maybe miss Wrestling Club all over again. I feel like we've done 18. Surely 20 is a nice round number. You know what I'm saying? Like just a nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I'd like to get there. So, like I said, we'll keep this as a special sometimes food. We'll bring it back when it feels right. Yeah, man, I love that we got to have you there and got to chop it up. Doing this debrief together.
Mate, thank you for that and for putting up with the technical difficulties on my end.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
It wouldn't be one of our podcasts if it went smoothly, would it?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, no, thank you. Awesome. And I'll let you get some bloody dinner.
You too, mate.
Thanks, dude.
See ya.
Bye.
Cable caught up on there. Hello again, everybody. Lance Russell and Dave Brown right along ringside. We're ready to go with another big day. Championship wrestling, always exciting, David.
Well, I tell you, you got T-Joe Khan coming in here again. He'll be in the opening match today.
In the ring here with our opening bout in just a moment. We had not met Mark Goulin. We've seen a couple of the interviews that he's sent in here, and I would just simply tell you this, Mr. Goulin, that we have a format on the show. You're scheduled for an interview now and not in the opening of the program, and so we'll get along a whole lot better if we can just have you follow the format and let us run the television show.
I appreciate what you're saying, and I realize that you and your partner are both very competent at what you do.
Thank you.
But something that you must understand is that I am here now, and things will be done differently in the future.
Well, we've seen you with T-Joe Khan, and there's no question about it. He's quite a physical specimen. But we've had a lot of people around who've always told us about, they're going to run the show and they're going to do this and that. We've gotten along without it. Oh, yeah, here comes T-Joe Khan right now. This, in case you are not aware, is Mark Goulin, who handles the affairs of T-Joe Khan, and this is our first time to have him on Championship.
Something that you must understand is you are in the presence of greatness. You will be made to understand this in the future. T-Joe Khan is one of the finest wrestlers to set foot in the ring. This man is dangerous, and he works for me. Things will be done differently. I'm making a list. Things will change, and you must understand this. I am Mark Goulin of the House of Goulin, and I am amassing the greatest assemblage of wrestlers that this area has ever seen. And don't you ever forget it.
Well, I will try not to forget it. We've also got to see performance is what we're looking for as to whether you can produce what you can say you can produce.
Watch him. Look at him. Have you ever seen anything like him? This man is totally dedicated to administering pain.
He's a physical specimen, all right. We've got a match scheduled for him right up in the ring right now. So if we could get on with that, we'll carry on about all of the other plans a little bit later on.
Bring on your fresh meat. This is fresh meat.
Okay, T-Joe Khan, Mark Goulin, and we're ready to go with our opening bout here right now.
All right, we have made it to the end of the resumption of Wrestling Club. This has maybe been our longest Wrestling Club yet, perhaps. I think this one, like, it was verging towards the 3-hour mark, and normally I'm like 2 is probably far too much, but it's a special thing. It's the opening night of my art show, so we're gonna just keep this baby going for as long as humanly possible. But we had all the things for this Wrestling Club evening. I was mentioning earlier on, I think this is the one where I most leaned into our, like, extreme ridiculousness meets extreme violence. And they're my 2 favorite kinds of wrestling, really, when it gets down to it. But for our few remaining guests, I thought it'd be really good to do one last little go around the room to see what our favourite thing was of this this beautiful resumption of Wrestling Club. I'll leave my pick till the end, but we'll start with Signor Fazio sitting over here. You got it pretty early on, right?
Oh yeah.
Were you there for the match 1?
I was there for the Tiger Mask singing Elvis.
Oh, baby!
the pre-show.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
I saw it all. I would have to give it to the 3-way dance. Taz, Tanaka, awesome. That was fun. That was unexpected.
How was it unexpected? Like for Wrestling Club, I would like to say that we've built up the Mike Awesome versus Masato Tanaka series somewhat. Like I've tried to make it a thing. But I mean, did it still somehow surprise you?
The Taz getting eliminated early.
Yes.
That was the surprise.
Heck yeah.
Yes.
It got me.
That's the highlight. Low light, I'll have to give it to Terry Funk. Coming in at 23 minutes, I'd say it's probably 20 minutes too long. But that's just me.
The 3 minutes being the promo, which you actually did enjoy, though. You did like the promo.
Yeah, sure.
And can I ask, did you have any feelings on the perhaps greatest manager of all time? And the introduction of Tijo Khan,
Mark Dolan,
and Mark Goulin. Goulin.
What was the question?
I think that's okay. It's all right. We'll travel over here. My friend, I'm not sure how much of the Wrestling Club you got to soak up this evening. However, I'm still enthused to see, of the things that you managed to catch while you were here, what appealed to you the most of our little playlist that we have here?
I mean, the very end with the little luchador spinning around in the steel cage. I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed that a lot. I also enjoyed Mike Awesome putting Tanaka through 2 tables in one match. That was awesome. Yeah, it was pretty good.
Literally awesome. Literally
awesome. It's true. Yeah.
Thank you. That makes me very happy to hear. The cage match, as I was mentioning during our earlier portion, like, this was, as far as I'm aware, the first ever little people match where they got to sort of like put their mask on the line, which is generally reserved for the larger luchadors. So this was a really kind of like significant match in terms of sort of like, you know, we can be proper wrestlers too. So that's why I wanted to showcase it as the official kind of main event of the evening. And I think it's like both a really fun match and just like a super interesting match to watch from sort of like a bit of like a removed perspective kind of thing. So yeah, I was a big fan of that. Thank you. And Joe, we'll turn it around to you. What spoke to you the most tonight, my friend?
Well, if I was going on brand, it'd be Megumi Kudo and
Shinobu Kandori, but I'll give it to Tiger Mask and Dynamite Kid.
Oh, shit!
Which I'm looking now as a match that's literally only 12 minutes and 8 seconds is, dare I say it, just dynamite.
Yeah.
I mean, bang for buck. And again, the start, but wasn't aware until you said it, the first of their matches, to see these two people who probably don't speak the same language having to have such a cool match that you could stack up in any card now and would often be the best match of the night on most TV shows right now. That's but the second one would obviously be Kudo. Yeah, because Kudo is just a legend.
Yeah, I think I was probably going in a similar trajectory myself. Like I really had a lot of love for the Kudo match. Like I think I was saying, like I was almost gonna like swap it out for something else that was a little bit shorter, but I was like, that's not quite as original as this like Kudo Kandori street fight, ending in someone trying to murder their opponent by throwing them off the balcony. I thought that finish was like so absolutely incredible. So I had a lot of love for that. Of course, the Mike Awesome versus Tanaka versus Taz match. You know, so much love for that series. And you know, I'm not gonna lie, that Terry Funk match and the intro and ending in like a rainstorm. How many matches, Faz, have you watched that end in like a whole bunch of rain happening?
Yeah, not many.
You can't predict that.
No.
Also, an incredibly racist promo to start the match. Not that I'm putting that over, but you know, Terry did it in a manner where he's putting over Carlito Colon as the hero here. So it's like one of those like showing your ass like heel kind of moments where I'm like, I'll tip my hat to Terry in that moment. But if I have to have a big pick for all of them, for me in terms of personal enjoyment, that ECW, you know, Masato Tanaka versus Mike Awesome versus Taz match. That was everything for me, baby.
That's wrestling, baby.
And we put a lot into the Mike Awesome versus Masato Tanaka ultimate, you know, series of matches through Wrestling Club. So of course, for this sort of special resumption of Wrestling Club, I thought we had to, you know, tip our hat a little bit to the next part of the series. So I think that's got to be mine in terms of personal enjoyment. But thank you so much, everybody. Appreciate everyone for coming out. Wrestling Club! Woo!
虎だお前は虎になるのだ白いマットのジャングルに今日も嵐が吹き荒れるぬるむよの後に正義のパンチをぶちかませ行け行けタイガーマスク
Drilled him with that left hand.
It took 2 minutes 6 seconds. T-Joe Khan got the win.
And it was all T-Joe Khan. No question about that.
Yes! T-Joe Khan the great!
Okay, you can get him out of there. He won the match in 2:06, so you can just get him out of the ring.
The greatest T-Joe Khan! Yes! Yes! The greatest!
No. Hey, come on now.
We'll leave when we're ready to leave and not before. You will learn these lessons. You will learn.
Well, you will learn also that you may be interrupted before you know it when you get into that kind of carrying on out here.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Lance. My gosh, this has been a fun show. Thank you everyone out there in podcast land for indulging me and for listening to this whole thing. I've missed doing these wrestling club editions of the podcast, and it was nice to be able to bring it back in conjunction with my current art show up at the Scratch. That was a real fun night there. So I hope I was able to bring you guys into the wrestling club here on Park Road in Milton, my favourite bar in the whole wide world, the Scratch Bar. Man, so good. And for all of my pals in Brisbane, you can keep if you haven't already, come on down to the Scratch, check out my show. As I said in the intro, it'll be up on the walls of the Scratch Bar for the next couple of weeks. So yeah, I would love for everyone to see it, and please swing me a message and let me know your thoughts. I'd love to hear it. I'd also like to say a big old thank you to the great team at Social Suplex, socialsuplex.com, the home of this podcast and a bevy of other great wrestling podcasts, from One Nation Radio to Keeping It Strong Style to Imps WW Adventure, I think. We've got a couple of AEW podcasts on there. All Things Elite, I think, is the name of one of them. We have a Joshi podcast on there. We've got the Trish and Sarah podcast, Tunnel Talk, all of the things, as we have some construction going on next door here. But man, I'm loving doing this thing. Sorry it's been so long, in the meantime, and in between time of between podcasts, of when I've got into this art creating madness. As I mentioned, a few events coming up that I'm very excited about. And so if you're in the Brisbane area, I'd love to see you. Again, jump on christhings.com.au/events. It'll let you know about all of our next ones. But next up, man, I got the Great Artist Market this Saturday at Felons Barrel Hall on Howard Smith Warves. It's going to be a big old day. I have a lot of prep to do, actually, so I need to get finished with this podcast and then get packing, man. I'm excited though. I love doing this thing. So that is my next stop as of recording this podcast, the Great Artist Market at Felons Barrel Hall, and I'll be in front of the barrels this time. So very excited for that one, and I'll have a few special originals on hand for procurement, as well as some very fresh art prints. So please come on down. But I think that brings us to about the end of today's podcast. Thank you so much. I love doing this thing. Again, anyone out there, if you ever like to swing me a little old message, please do. Would love to hear from you. Would love to hear your thoughts on the show, anything that you particularly like, or anything you might want to hear more of. And of course, christhings.com.au is the place to go, where you can get all of those art prints that we're talking about. My match of the week art prints. We have some originals on there, calendars, t-shirts, what have yous, all of the things. christhings.com.au. And I also do commissions. I love making art especially for people. If you have a specific thing in mind, whether it's your favorite match, whether it's someone's birthday, whether you want to see your dog remade in art form. I've been doing a lot of cool sort of like tabletop gaming stuff lately with some of the commissions I've been getting, which I've got a real kick out of. But yeah, man, if you have a band that you need a poster for, whatever it might be, please hit me up. Commissions start, generally speaking, from $150 dues, and they can vary a little bit up or down depending on how complex or time consuming they might be. But I love doing them, and little brings me as much joy as having someone come to me with a cool concept. And then, getting to bring that to life in Chris Things form, and getting to see someone stoked about it. I love it. I love doing this thing. Chris Things art, everybody. We're still keeping this train chugging along. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate everyone out there. If you can think of anyone else that would enjoy this extremely obscure podcast, I always appreciate the recommendations. If you ever feel like giving a review, that also can be good. But yeah, man, I love doing it. I've been missing doing it, similar to the wrestling club, so I'm stoked to be back, and we'll be back again in 2 weeks' time, hopefully for some match of the week catch-ups. In the meantime, I think I'll throw over to the one and only Terry Funk. Thank you very much.
Derrotando a los mejores luchadores del mundo. Dice que va a pasar sobre Carlitos Colón en breves segundos, en breves horas contra Carlitos Colón.
Please, let me talk to the Puerto Rican people. I want to talk their language, yes. I know a foreign language. I want to talk to you Puerto Ricans. Oink, oink. Oink, oink, I'm sure you yellow pigs understand that. And I'm going to show you what a slob, a puke-faced idiot.
Bueno, amigos, la verdad que Terry Funk no me deja ni traducir. Will you let me translate to the people? Wow, señores, yo trato de hacer mi trabajo.
Kusamo 気もないジャングルに潮呼ぶ罠